Welcome. Today, we are driving headfirst into a topic that feels like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie. For any creator out there, we're talking about a completely automated YouTube channel, one that runs itself using Google's suite of AI tools. I mean, from the initial idea all the way to the final upload, could a machine really do it all? Let's get into it. So, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the dream itself, this idea of a hands-off content factory. Then we'll look at the actual parts you'd need to assemble this AI machine. After that, though, we gotta get real and face the major hurdles. Things like quality control and, not getting banned. And that'll lead us to a much, much smarter path forward. All right, first up, the automated content dream. Before we get into the tech and the nitty-gritty, let's just soak in the fantasy for a second. This is the big what if that's got every creator's head spinning. I mean, just imagine this. A system that finds a hot topic, does all the deep dive research, spits out a perfect script, generates the voiceover, creates a video, designs a killer thumbnail, and then, boom, publishes it right to your channel. All while you're doing, well, anything else. It's the ultimate creator fantasy. A totally hands-off content machine. But can it actually be built? Okay, so let's talk about how you would even begin to build this thing. We're going to pop the hood and take a look at the Google AI Toolkit. These are the individual machines on our theoretical content assembly line. So on paper, it looks so clean, right? A perfect four-step process. You've got research, then convert, then create, and finally publish. Each step is supposed to just hand the baton to the next one. Well, at least in theory. And here's where we hit our first reality check. Look, each of these tools is seriously powerful. Gemini gives you sourced, solid research. NotebookLM is great because it stays grounded in those sources. But that key limitation column is where the dream starts to unravel a little. We're talking long wait times, super basic video quality, tricky prompt engineering, and a really high risk if you accidentally publish errors. These are the cracks in the foundation we need to look at. So the whole thing kicks off with this really cool concept called agentic research. This is the secret sauce in Gemini Deep Research. You don't just give it a search term. Nope. You give it a whole topic, and it acts like a little research assistant. It creates its own research plan, hunts down credible sources, and then puts together a full report, complete with citations for every single fact. This gives you a solid, verifiable foundation to build on. And boom, here is the first massive gap in quality. On one side, what NotebookLM can do with audio is pretty impressive. It can create this dynamic podcast-style chat between two AI hosts. But the video it generates, as you can see, it's basically just a simple slideshow. And on a platform like YouTube, which is all about compelling visuals, that's a really big problem. So that brings us to our first major roadblock. The point where this automation dream crashes right into reality. Let's talk about the very real risk of producing what people are starting to call AI slop. This quote just nails it. The real danger with a fully automated system isn't just that it might make mistakes. It's that it could pump out endless streams of this AI slop. Content that technically checks all the boxes, the grammar's fine, the facts are right, but it's totally generic. It's got no personality, no unique point of view, and frankly, no real reason for anyone to watch it. And this chart just puts it in plain numbers. Look at the quality score for a fully automated video. It's pretty low, but the second you add a human in the loop to just review and edit, look at that jump. But the real magic, the best of the best, that's augmented creation, where the human and the AI are working together to make something amazing. Okay, so quality is an internal problem you have to solve. But even if you could make perfect AI videos, you'd immediately smack into these huge external hurdles, the kind that can get your channel shut down. Let's talk copyright and platform rules. Okay, listen up, because this one is a potential deal breaker. The US Copyright Office has been very clear. Stuff that is generated entirely by AI cannot be copyrighted. It's in the public domain. Just let that sink in. It means anyone could just rip your fully automated video and re-upload it, and you'd have absolutely no legal power to stop them. Copyright only protects the human's creative input, how you select, arrange, or coordinate the AI-made stuff. And hey, if the legal risk wasn't scary enough, here comes the business risk. YouTube itself is rolling out new rules. and they feel like they were written specifically to target the kind of stuff our automated factory would be churning out. The new policy is crystal clear. YouTube is going to start demonetizing channels it considers mass-produced or repetitious. Now, they're not banning AI, but they are demanding that a human adds significant transformative value. What does that mean? It means you have to bring original commentary, a unique perspective, or a real story to the table. That simple AI-narrated slideshow we saw earlier, that's probably going to get your channel's monetization turned off. So the dream of a fully automated channel is basically a minefield of problems. But that does not mean these AI tools are useless. Far from it. It just means we need a smarter model. We need to shift our thinking from replacement to collaboration. And this right here is the new paradigm, augmented creation. It's not about letting an AI replace you. It's about giving yourself an unbelievably powerful AI co-pilot. In this model, the AI does all the grunt work, the initial research, the first ugly draft, coming up with ideas for images. This frees you, the creator, to focus on the stuff humans do best: strategy, storytelling, and making sure the final product is actually good. And really, this is the choice every creator has to make. Are you going to treat AI like a disposable worker or like a co-pilot? One path leads straight to AI slop, copyright headaches, and getting in trouble with YouTube. The other path? It leads to high-quality, legally protected work that platforms actually want to show to people. So, how do you actually do this? Well, this 3-step roadmap is the practical way to get there. First, you start by doing everything manually. You've got to master the tools and figure out what your own standard for quality is. Then you move into a semi-automated phase. Start scripting the really boring, repetitive stuff like drafting titles or scheduling uploads. And finally, you build a true augmented system where the AI does its job but has to stop at these mandatory checkpoints for you to give the final okay. So in this new model, your role doesn't vanish. It actually gets a huge upgrade. You're no longer just the worker. You're the strategist. You're the editor-in-chief, setting the direction. You're the creative director who adds that human spark. And you're the final checkpoint, making sure every single thing that goes out is something you're proud of. Ultimately, all of this boils down to one simple question about the future of creativity. That dream of full automation, it's tempting, for sure, but the reality is it's probably a dead end. The real power comes from using AI not to replace you, but to augment you, to make you a faster, smarter, and way more effective creator. So the question I'll leave you with is, how are you going to choose to work with these incredible new tools?